right, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night, July 15th. We are live on all socials. We are not on Real America's Voice this week. RNC Convention Day 1 is kicked off, so it's just us on social media. If you're here, glad you're here. Make sure you follow us on all our social media. About 3,000 of you. We have the RNC up as well. We'll be monitoring that, bringing new speeches all night. About 3,000 of you joined me this afternoon on our socials, and that was the first time I got a chance to talk to everybody since obviously, what seems like about a year ago since we were on Friday night. How the world has changed.
Isn't that?
Do you believe that? I mean, you believe that was just a regular weekend? It feels like it was forever.
Yeah.
And obviously, we text a little bit over the weekend, the guys on the show and everybody. But man, when I went on this afternoon, streamed for a while to kind of break the ice, tell everybody kind of where I was and what I was thinking, and take some questions. And man, it just felt like it was been such a long time in a news cycle here that will, the most historic event since probably, not in a good way, since September 11th of 2001. The most horrific and what could have been a lot worse television event we've seen since then on Saturday at 6:11 p.m. And there's a lot to talk about, but it's good to be back to talk to everybody. I was glad to talk to everybody this afternoon, those of you who joined me. And a lot of these people probably heard me, Delgado, this afternoon, so I guess I'm going to go to you first before there was a lot of places I wanted to start. Knowing that we had all the time in the world tonight to talk because we're not on the network. We're going to bring you some speeches from the RNC as well, but I just kept thinking about, and it's just a haunting thought to think that I'm convinced that there is no way that it was not divine intervention that President Trump is alive. There's just no way. When you think about everything that was involved, he takes the stage. He asked Dave McCormick to come up. Then he says, well, you know what? We'll bring you up a little later. Mm-hmm. And then he says, do you have this graphic? My team, I love this graphic, he says. Do you have this graphic? I don't know if they have it. And then they do have it. And he says, I can't believe they've got it. And he puts it up on the screen. He was going to bring it up later in the speech, I think he said. And he brings up this graphic. And at the exact moment, at 6:11, when this guy fires, President Trump turns his head in such a way to look back at that graphic screen. And I'm sure you've all seen some of the diagrams that are out there. If he's talking straight to the crowd, head straight, he's probably dead. If he turns around to look at the people behind him, that sometimes he does in these speeches when people are clapping, he's dead. I mean, there's almost no other position his head could have been in than the 15 to 20 degree turn he made at that exact moment to look at that screen, and then he grabs his ear. And then he has enough sense to realize it's blood and goes down. Right. And then the Secret Service moves. But to start there is just chilling to think about how close we were to a very different world tonight. A very different world than we are. In what was just a shocking moment. But in the next breath, I would say not that shocking. As some would think that this, as Steve Bannon has talked about, this could have happened, and people expected this to happen maybe even before this. John James from Michigan now speaking, and we'll monitor some of these speeches. Obviously, anybody we think we need to bring to you, we will. But I want to have the guys have a chance to talk about this, and I want to, say a couple things as well. So that's the first thing I think of. The benediction that was given before Trump came out. I think about that. I listened to that. People have brought up the flag hanging over him and how it was kind of tied itself up in actually, I think McCormick was joking about that when he was speaking, said we got to fix that flag before President Trump comes out. in the pictures of that flag, some say look like an angel. And I can see why they say that when you look at it. I mean, there's just so many things about the day. But that head turn of his is just, I feel like it was divine intervention that he is still with us. It was just crazy. The second thing I thought about is when you dehumanize someone to the level that the left has dehumanized Donald Trump, taking all worth out of him as a human being, flesh and blood, that he has no value, that he can only be a danger to you, that he can only be a negative to you, that he is coming after you, that somehow he's going to make your life whatever the adjective they want to add on it. When you dehumanize someone to the level that the left has dehumanized him as a human being, which is why Melania's letter struck me when she put it out the next day, to say, this is someone's father, this is someone's husband, this is someone with a sense of humor, this is someone with a love of music, with a love of golf, with a love of his grandkids. He's a human. He's flesh and blood, just like you. And when you dehumanize someone to the level that they have with him, and you have somebody who obviously needs a checkup from the neck up, and there's many out there that do, that listen to this nonsense, who believe that this guy's going to be the next Hitler, a dictator, a Nazi, this, that. That's how the pot steams. And that top is on it, and it keeps getting hotter and hotter, and then it bursts. So I thought about that, and that's why her letter struck me so eloquently as she put it. And Joe Biden today and the left today, 24 hours removed, as if Saturday never happened. Back at it again. So that's the second thing I thought of. And then obviously we can get into the crux of that day. And I said this afternoon, and I'll say it again, and then I'll turn it over to Rick to give us his thoughts of the day. Until somebody and someone, and it's a absolute travesty that we're this far out and we know nothing from anybody of importance, until somebody tells me how a 20-year-old with no experience, a high school graduate who couldn't make his rifle team, and the bar for plausible is going to be extremely high. Until somebody can give me a plausible reason for how he is able to walk in to that building, climb a ladder, get on the roof, bring a weapon, set it up, scale himself to the crest of that building, supposedly get confronted by a police officer who then, we're told, retreats upon seeing him, and is able to fire off those shots before something happens, then I believe that he had help getting there. Or something. And I am, as you know, of the two of us sitting here, and I'm not, it's not the time for jokes. It's not joking. I am not a conspiracy theorist by nature.
You don't have to be.
I look for exactly.
You don't.
I look for common sense and facts, and the common sense and facts here tells you that this does not smell right, and they are not helping themselves by not answering any questions. And I guess the director of the Secret Service actually did an interview tonight on ABC, and says that she's staying, and didn't say much more than that. But you could have put an 8-year-old in that field looking at where President Trump was going to speak in front of him and say, okay, Johnny, now, if you're worried about somebody, they're going to go, well, that right there at the water tower, and maybe these places. And they're going to go, well, we're going to have guys up there, Johnny. Okay, well, then over here to the left would be the next one. You don't need somebody well-trained. You don't need it. Anybody could have told you that. So until I hear some plausible explanation for how this kid got on this roof unabated, nothing else. It just doesn't pass the smell test. It just doesn't. I don't know what the comms were. I don't know what the perimeter was. If he's 140 yards away, what the hell was the perimeter? 50 yards. Now, Secret Service is blaming local police. Oh, we thought they had it. No, that doesn't fly. It's not like, oh, geez, I thought you guys were going to bring dessert to the party, so we don't have any dessert here because we thought you were bringing it. That doesn't fly in this situation. This kid comes in, walks up there, scales a ladder that I guess I hear the ladder is a permanent fixture on the building, people are saying. I don't know that to be true. That's what I'm just hearing. He knows that he can get up there, that he knows there's nobody up there, and gets off. Meanwhile, the wide shot of Trump as he's speaking, you can see the sniper scoping that exact area while he's talking, before his shots have rung out. What is the communication between the people screaming over there that there's a guy on the roof, local law enforcement, and whatever law enforcement, Secret Service are over by the stage? What are the comms like? Are they that much of a disaster that they couldn't get him off the stage in time? The guy scoping the roof doesn't take a shot until after the first shot rings out? What's he waiting for? Could he not see him? Was he not scoping the roof? Was he scoping the area? Where are the answers to these questions today? Because none of this makes any sense. I'll give you the floor, Delgado.
Well, let's see. First off,
were you watching it?
No, I was at a party. It's graduation party season, so I was at a party in somebody's backyard enjoying a nice evening. And believe it or not, it was some of the kids from the party, from the high school graduation, that actually brought it to my attention. Because they saw it pop up. It's one of those things. It's like, hey, you're hanging. Put the phone to the side and you just kind of relax and enjoy the evening. That quickly changed, and it's one of those. This is one of those moments where September 11th, JFK. Certain moments in time where people will ask you, "Where were you when?" and you will remember. And this, unfortunately, this incident falls into that now. From there on in, it was just a matter of, taking a look, seeing what's going on, seeing that video and then seeing him taken away, while he's fighting to let people know that he's okay was a complete relief.
It wasn't a relief. I'll tell you, I was watching it, so my perspective is a little different because I obviously was dealing in real time. So I can only go through the reactions I had as a normal person watching it. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And this, obviously, at that point, we hadn't even gotten into what had happened, who it was, where he was, how he got. That's all afterwards.
Right.
But in real time, I'm thinking to myself, why are they standing him up? They're standing him up, and I'm standing in front of the TV because I was sitting on the couch when it happened, and I stand up. My jaw's on the floor, and then because I don't know if he's hit. I actually looked down as the shot rang out. So I did not see him grab his ear and fall. The first time I just looked up and he was gone.
Right.
And I see everybody rush the stage. And then they stand, and I'm thinking to myself, and of course we didn't have the audio that we had now.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking to myself, how do they know? What are they doing standing him up? He's exposed again.
Well, they had gotten the all clear.
We know they got an all clear. How did they know they were all clear? How did they know? How did they know the one guy was an all clear? There was 20,000. People didn't stampede out of there.
No.
How did they know there's no one in the stands? There's no one coming from the seats. There's no one coming from the trees. There's no one coming from behind them. There's no one. How do they know? They stand him up. They allow him to say, let me get my shoes 3 times. They allow him to shake his fist. Now, I know we get these iconic photos out of it, and I get it. But in the real moment, I'm thinking to myself, why are they not taking his head, putting it down, and getting him the hell off this stage to the car?
Well, they were trying to. As you can see, he's trying to get through that and give everybody the high sign that he's okay. So
I know.
the Secret Service.
Do you remember when Reagan got shot?
They threw him right in the car.
They didn't give it. They didn't care what he wanted to do, or that's not their job. Their job is to save the body.
Well, I was listening to Dan Bongino. He said the guys that are on the floor with Trump did exactly what they were supposed to do. No question. That's the protocol. You hold them down till you get the all clear. Shooters down. Now's the time to move. They got to make sure the car is ready too.
How do they know that's the only shooter?
So they have to have the pathway, making sure that's clear. That's why you see the guys with the rifles and the combat gear kind of running through, clearing that lane, because that's their exit point. So according to the Secret Service guy, he probably knows. So I'll go with that, saying that's why they did what they did at that point. He doesn't have he doesn't have much nice to say about the perimeter and all the other stuff and the questions you raised, and the fact that now we're hearing that the shooter was actually spotted 30 minutes prior to this, became a person of interest 30 minutes prior, and they were watching him, but they lost track of him. My question is, why was he even a person of interest at that point? What drew your attention to this guy 30 minutes before that you decided you were going to surveil him? What was it? Was it the rifle? Was it the ladder? What was he doing that drew your attention to the fact that all of a sudden now you lost him?
How does he take the stage if that's the case? Right.
That was another good question. If you had a question on, okay, there's somebody we can't account for, let's hold them off a few minutes until we clear this possible threat. How do you let him go back on? How do you let him go on stage until that is addressed? A lot of questions. Again, I don't want to put the tinfoil hat on, but you don't need it for this. What you need is common sense questions or common sense answers to basic questions. You talk about the perimeter. 130 yards is nothing.
130
it's end
yards
zone to end zone.
130 yards is so nothing. I talked to someone today who's a gun enthusiast who knows that weapon well. Believe has a version of it. Lives in a state where you can have them. Said that he could teach me to hit that shot, and he also differentiated between the fact that if he was trying to go, they always tell you to go center mass,
right?
And obviously that's whether he was doing that or not. He was probably going for the head. He thought by watching it. He said when he heard the first pop, he knew exactly about the distance and where he was just by the sound of him. And the time that he reacted, he said that is a 9 out of 10 shot for somebody who's been to the range 1 or 2 times.
Right. Yeah.
Depending on the optics of the gun.
That's a shot a 10-year-old could take at a squirrel.
Yeah. They had a Marine sniper he's in one of the senators somewhere, and he was on last night and on Fox, and he said the same thing. 9 out of 10 shots you could hit that. He could teach you that within hours, he said.
It's a perfectly clear day. He's got a 100-foot flag sitting above him, showing the guy exactly how the wind is blowing. So there's if he had to calculate for that. A lot of people are saying, was that Katie Britt? Hope she's not speaking like she spoke in the Republican deal response. In the fact, Trump, first of all, Slick, welcome to the show. I know obviously you were ready to go Saturday night, as you told us.
Yep.
Were you watching it live?
No, I was actually out. My wife sent me a message, and she called me up, and she was extremely upset. She was crying. She was like so beside herself. I mean, really just hit her right between the eyes. So, and then I immediately got home, and that was it. I was on lockdown, watching TV and trying to get everything I could. Real America's Voice had excellent coverage. I enjoyed them on Saturday night. When they cut, then I must have been up till 5 o'clock in the morning trying to find out who this kid was, what was going on. Forget it. That blew my whole weekend.
Real America's Voice really did a great job.
They did.
Amanda Khan was in a tough position. She did a great job from the studio. Brian
John
Glenn,
Solomon too.
Brian Glenn gave you just the absolute rawest of emotion from being there. It was really quite something, and the coverage was great. And if I had any ability to join them, I would have. Harry asked me if I could, and I had no camera, no light, no nothing at my house to be able to join. So, but they did a great job. And it's a tough, no tougher position to be in to try to deal with that live.
Yeah, but getting back to what I was saying, it's all easy questions. that should have answers. The fact that it took, more than 5 hours for them to put out a statement? 5 hours? Really? For the intelligence, for the FBI or the Secret Service to do a press conference and kind of announce what's going on? I'm sorry, but something like this doesn't happen. It's allowed to happen. It's as simple as that. There's no way you can say
every single. I said this today on the stream this afternoon. Every single Marine, trained, former sniper, anybody I have heard in the last 24, 48 hours on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Reels, X, obviously, who has put out a video, anybody who would really know how this happens and how this works, they all come to the same conclusion. And that's the conclusion that you just had. There's no way this kid just did. You can't pull this off.
No.
It's not possible for them to just say, oh, we thought the local police, which is, I guess, what they're saying tonight. I haven't specifically heard a clip.
And now Butler County sheriffs are coming out saying the building used by the assassin wasn't their responsibility. So now everybody's doing the Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing to each other saying you screwed up. No, Secret Service is in charge. That's it. When it comes to things like this, and again, I'm taking it from listening to Bongino's talks about this. Whenever these issues come up, and he talks about the Secret Service and what happens when they arrive. When they arrive, they take control. It doesn't matter if you're the local sheriff or you're the local police or you're the FBI. Secret Service takes over. Everybody else gets behind them because they're the ones in control of those areas with their protectee. That's just it. That's it. There is no. Well, you got to talk to. No, Secret Service is in charge. So when they sit there and point the finger, no, they should be pointing at a mirror, pointing at themselves because it's their responsibility. They have one job: keep their protectee alive. I'm sorry, but that failed miserably on Saturday. The fact that a ladder, even if it's attached to the building, the kid didn't walk up with a ladder and a rifle. Okay, I get that. But the fact that it's attached to a building and the Secret Service didn't walk through there and go, this is a problem, detach it from the building, let's get rid of it.
130 yards away.
130 yards away.
Come on.
In the middle of the day.
I mean,
ridiculous.
I mean, yes, okay, I get the point you make about the ladder. All you have to do is put two regular uniformed police officers stand on that roof.
Yes.
They can sit there, drink coffee, and talk the whole time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If you put anybody in that field and say, okay, what do we have to be worried about? They would all point to that building. It's a little more than a football field away.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Clean sightline.
When you see the video of the people over there videoing this kid on the roof going, hey, that doesn't look right. Officer, that.
And they with a gun.
And then the camera turns, you can see Trump right there. There was no comms. Now, I know comms in these situations are always a disaster, especially when you have locals and then you have Secret Service. No one's on the same channel. But there's not enough time for the cops, local law enforcement, whatever they're on, to say, hey, get them off the stage.
Yep.
Put my screen up, Aaron. This is another example. There's this video out there of Trump on stage.
Oh, by the way, a registered Republican.
I don't know what that is. That's not my screen.
Yeah, we have to jump through some hoops.
Okay, just let me know. Okay, so there's this video. Trump is on stage, speaking, standing up. This guy is clearly scoping over there. You would have to think he's scoping that roof exactly. So even if he doesn't have the guy in his sight, They have to know at this point there's something over there to be concerned about. Why is he not getting pulled off the stage? He's clearly pointed right at that rooftop.
Right.
Wow. And this was
All of this time.
See, I saw a Twitter thread by
And then he grabs his ear right there.
Tim McMillan, who I guess has worked in security, and he was pointing out that he is probably scoping past the roof up until the shot is fired. Then he realizes that the shooter's way closer than he was looking.
But the point being that he's scoping over there. He's not just, I mean, unless these two, their SOP, I guess, for the day was only that area. But they're clearly looking, both of them, in that direction. So if they know, which I guess, okay, maybe they don't know. Maybe that's just where they were supposed to be trained on. How is he not pulled off the stage?
Yeah.
When you add it all up, given that this kid was spotted 30 minutes before and a cop had made a note of a suspicious, person, you add it all together. How is this not delayed? How is he allowed to go out there? And again, until we hear from someone on what this guy is doing, how is he standing there speaking when this guy's got this clearly pointed right over in that direction? Even if he doesn't know exactly and he hasn't spotted him yet. Is there audio on this, Fran?
You know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
I mean, it's just...
Yeah, it's just insane.
Yeah, it's unconscionable.
And when you factor in the you start you rewind it back in your head, it's like, okay, there's no way this kid just woke up that day and said, you know what? I'm a little bored today. I'm going to go grab this rifle. I'm going to go take a shot at President Trump.
I know
exactly where to go. I know exactly where I'm going to put myself because I know nobody's guarding it.
Yeah, in the one place
No way.
Really?
that gives me direct line of sight to
Right.
the former president and the future president of the United States.
Yeah.
Nobody's
I'm going
gonna
to climb
stop
a
me.
ladder.
No.
I know no one's going to be up top. No one's going to greet me. And if people see me, it's not going to matter. I'll be able to.
Right.
I mean,
That
what?
That does not make it doesn't pass the smell test. I'm sorry. Call me crazy. But you just and the fact that he was spotted 30 minutes before, he had the gun with him. So it makes you question, well, if the police noticed him, he was a person of interest, and he was carrying a bag that looked like, hey, that could potentially have a rifle in it. We might want to go talk to the
He's
guy.
not right. He's not stopped. He's not asked.
Right.
Right.
Nothing. And we're supposedly he was an officer climbed the ladder. The story goes again.
Yeah.
None of this is confirmed. So we're conjecturing the best we can from what we know.
Yeah.
But we're supposed to know that the report is that a police officer scaled the ladder, and when he got up there, the kid turned with the rifle and the guy retreated.
Right. He was climbing on somebody's back, I heard. Is that true? He was standing on another officer's shoulders or something? It just sounded bizarre. That's what I heard.
How about shoot the bastard? Is there a uniformed officer that whenever confronted with someone with a gun wouldn't engage? Would go, sorry, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
That doesn't jive. There's something about that that's not right.
Yeah. And any reports you hear from these media jerkwads saying, well, they can't shoot until there's a shot. That's a lie. That is a complete lie.
That's one of the things that has been going around. That the snipers were not allowed to engage until they fired first. I've never heard of such a...
That's a lie. Their job is to mitigate the threat. If they see someone with a gun, that's the threat. You don't wait for them to take the shot. You eliminate the threat. That's their job. They're conflating. They're trying to say, well, it's the you don't return fire. It's what the military does. They don't return fire unless fired upon. That's not. Those rules don't apply here. Not when it comes to Secret Service or even law enforcement, for the matter of fact. If you see somebody with a gun aiming it at somebody, the officer has the right to take that person out because that's the threat. So
Laura on Facebook says, Big D, if you watch the sniper on the roof that you just played, right after Trump gets shot, you can see the Secret Service sniper shoot his weapon at the shooter. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Afterwards, my question is, if he knew that he was in that location or he was scoping him, how does the guy get a shot off? Or if he's looking in their direction, that clip is enough time. Between the beginning of that clip and when the shots go off, there's enough time to get Trump off that stage. Someone just has to say, get him off of there. So again, we need to know, what was that guy looking at? Was he focused on the roof because he knew someone was there, but he couldn't see him because the roof is pitched and the kid wasn't at the crest yet? That's
what I heard. That he couldn't get him into his sights because there was a slight, I guess the lip of the roof was blocking his shot.
But again, did he know that he was looking for someone right there? And if so, how is Trump still on the stage? That is what I don't understand.
Yeah, too many questions.
Way too many.
Too many questions.
None of them make any sense.
Yep.
Zero sense.
This matador type security where it's just like, go ahead. See you
Secret
later.
Service didn't provide much yesterday in that lousy press conference either, right? They
They've
didn't give you any
provided
information,
nothing.
Right? And I see she's staying on. That was Kimberly Cheadle, the director. She's staying on. She announced just a few hours ago.
And let me just say this, and I'm not in the. I don't want to talk bad about any Secret Service agent.
No, of course
who
not.
puts their life on the line. Obviously they jumped on President Trump, the people on the stage. But let me just say this: there are some of those Secret Service agents should not have been there. You heard in the audio, it was utter chaos. The ladies saying, what are we doing? Where are we going? I posted a video on our X of the three female agents. One of them who looks like she's about 5'1", while they're trying to walk Trump off the stage. He's totally exposed. But once he gets to the truck, I posted this on our X. It's maybe our most viewed X post ever. It's got over 1 million views. And I just said, can someone explain to me what the hell these three are doing? It looks like it's their first day on the job. They look like they have no idea. One of them can't even holster the weapon. 5-6 times she tries to holster it. The heads are going back and forth looking at each other like, what do we do now? What are we doing? I mean, who is protecting the President of the United States? With all due respect. Why are they there? If this is the way they're going to, if this is how they're going to handle the situation. I mean, let me just pull it up. And you tell me. Here it is. Explain to me what these three are doing. Look at them. Left, right, what? Look, gun, no, I'll just hold it.
Where's my sunglasses?
Look, back over, sunglasses,
There you go.
still trying to holster the weapon. Okay, what? Stand, turn, look, left, look. I mean, what are we doing?
Plus, you had the girl, what was she, about 6 inches shorter than President Trump? They're trying to screen his body. The woman was about 5'5". He's 6'3".
I mean, who?
That's crazy, too.
I mean, it's just
Bad
crazy.
plan. Yeah. I mean, like you said, you don't want to say anything bad about the Secret Service. They did jump on it right away, but man, a lot of questions, Big D. A lot of questions.
We salute law enforcement on this show every single night.
Absolutely.
I don't know what it's like to throw my body on top of another in between what could have been another shooter.
Yeah.
Bullets coming in. These are the bravest people in the world. I get that. But we got to have people who I see these interviews with Cheeto from months ago, years ago. Whoa, we got to make sure we've got 30% of this and 20% of that and 10% of this, and we got to make sure we got a lot of women. Why? Why do we have to? Why don't we just get people who can actually do the damn job? Who understand what it is to work under fire, under pressure, who knows their one job is to protect.
Right.
One job. The
most precious cargo in the world.
It did not look like all of them that day knew what was happening.
Yeah, from what I understand, the one who turned after she closed the door is she's been with Trump for a long time. They call her a beast because she is fiercely loyal, knows her S. The other two I didn't hear much about, but her in particular, because she's the last one who kind of closes that door before she spins around. She's been with him for a while.
Is that this one who couldn't holster the gun?
No.
Aaron, can you put?
It's the one. She's got a tight bun on the back of her head.
Over here.
She's got her back to it, right? She's the one who you see the back of right there.
Yep.
That's the one I'm talking about. From what I understand,
like I said, I don't want to trash the Secret Service. These people are the bravest people in the world,
and something else that was revealed. A lot of those Secret Service guys you see there aren't actually Secret Service. They're on loan from other agencies, which makes you ask the Secret Service director and Homeland Security, who now runs Secret Service, unfortunately, is what the hell are you guys doing picking agents that are not properly trained for this type of security?
Bongino said, by the way, opposite of what you just said. The girl, he didn't say the girl was, he said the one guy is a Trump regular, was the main guy there.
Oh, the big tall guy.
Yeah.
Glasses.
Yeah. He said he was the only one there that's a Trump regular.
See, and I heard the woman with the bun was also a Trump regular. She's been with him for years.
Okay, and it might be the case, but that's not what he thought as of, I believe, Sunday when he was on. It's on our timeline. He was on with somebody on Sunday as a follow-up, and he said that was the only Trump regular guy, was the main guy. So I don't know.
Yeah, well.
But in terms of being on loan from these other agencies, that's an issue. Because why aren't you're talking about a former president who could be the next president? How does he not have a full security detail? They're cutting corners. They're skimping.
It's like JFK today. Yeah. Excuse me for interrupting. It's like JFK. RFK today. All of a sudden, he's going to have Secret Service protection. So his life matters more today to Biden than it did yesterday, or the day before, or any other day that he's required it.
Yep. Optics.
Why today?
Optics.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Optics.
His life matters more today to the Biden administration and to Mayorkas than it has any other day. Because he's asked for it multiple times and been denied as a Kennedy. Not like there's a history there. But today, Mayorkas in the briefing room, this slime, he gets it today. It's crazy. The whole thing is nuts. And we're way far removed and have heard nothing. And nobody trusts what we're going to hear anyways from these damn people. That's the problem, of course. So we have to hope that the House, not that we're in love with all of them either, and their investigative abilities when it comes to the things we've been waiting 3 years to hear on. Well, I guess we have to hope that they can get to the bottom of some of this.
Well, they have to ask questions and not spend 5 minutes, just declaring platitudes. And yeah, like Slick just said, posturing and sounding tough. Ask tough questions and then shut up and let this Secret Service director answer them, or fail to.
I'll tell you, I don't want to sit here. I don't want to be someone who sits here and says that this kid had help or this is an inside job or it was an intentional. But somebody has to be able to move us off that position with something that makes sense. Because right now, none of this makes any sense. And if it makes sense to you, you got to explain it to me. Because it does not make sense to me. Let's listen to Youngkin. I like to hear Youngkin. Let's bring him up.
Yes, Joe must go. Good evening. I'm Glenn Youngkin, the governor. The governor of the home of Washington, Jefferson, Madison, and Monroe, the great Commonwealth of Virginia. Tonight, we stop for a moment. We ask for God's grace to be on innocent victims. We ask him to be with their families. We thank him for this moment of unity. And we thank him for protecting our next president, Donald J. Trump. And tonight, our nation can have the conversation that so many families have at their kitchen tables. Yes, those tough conversations. How do we make it all work? The conversation young families from Midlothian, Virginia to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, whose dreams of buying a home have been shattered by 7.5% mortgage rates. The veterans from Fredericksburg, Virginia to Phoenix, Arizona, whose raises can't keep up with 30% increases in grocery prices and 40% increases in gas. The retirees from Roanoke, Virginia to Reno, Nevada, whose fixed income has been crushed by the silent thief of inflation unleashed by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Tonight, America, the land of opportunity, just doesn't feel like that anymore. But 8 years ago, there was an outsider, a businessman, who stepped out of his career to rebuild a great nation with the strongest economy, the mightiest military, energy independence, unlimited opportunity, lifting up every American. That outsider businessman was Donald J. Trump, and he will do it again. I'm proud to be a homegrown Virginian, from a family like a lot of families, with ups and downs and highs and lows. My mom was a nurse, and she was my hero. She pulled our family together after my dad lost his job. At 15, washing dishes and flipping eggs, I learned that there is dignity in work. At the height of the pandemic 4 years ago, I asked my amazing wife, Suzanne, to go on a walk with me. I told her I planned to quit my job and run for governor. She looked at me with tears in her eyes and a quivering lip and asked, "Governor of what?" We prayed together, and we asked God for guidance and wisdom. And we said if elected, we would serve. After 12 years of only electing Democrats statewide, in November 2021, Virginians elected a Republican outside businessman as their 74th governor. And I believe this year, Virginia will elect another Republican outside businessman as President of the United States. President Trump proved that common sense conservative leadership works. It works for America. And we're proving it in Virginia, too. $5 billion of tax relief, backing the blue. Slashing red tape, declaring loudly that, yes, parents matter. and creating jobs, lots of jobs. Virginia now has record job growth, and we were just named America's top state for business. Friends, could this election be more simple? It's common sense versus chaos. It's strength versus weakness. Friends, it's not just Republicans who see this. It's Republicans, independents, and lots of Democrats. It's Americans. Under President Trump, America had high growth and low inflation. Under Joe Biden, America has low growth and high inflation. 66% of Americans now live paycheck to paycheck. Moms and dads worrying, can they buy new shoes for their kids going back to school? Can they write the tuition check for college? Will they ever be able to retire? Under President Trump, 2.4 million Americans were lifted out of poverty. Women, Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans all saw record low employment. Under Donald J. Trump, we once again will have that rip-roaring economy that lifts up all Americans. That is our tomorrow. A tomorrow where work is celebrated, where taxes are cut and inflation is slashed, where we cut red tape, where we unleash American energy dominance, where businesses proudly say, "Made in America." Where entrepreneurs dream and small businesses thrive, where Americans from any background can pour their God-given talents into building their American dream. This is the moment. This is our moment to make America the land of opportunity again. A nation built on a basic truth that we are granted certain unalienable rights, not by a king, but by an almighty creator. And that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our foundational principles are non-negotiable. They are inscribed on our national soul. My fellow Americans, the spirit of hope is spreading. Everyone can feel it, and it will sweep across this nation when we elect Donald J. Trump, the 47th President of the United States. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
All right, Glenn Youngkin, governor of Virginia there at the RNC convention, night one. So, like I said, watching it in real time on Saturday, when they stood him up, I got extremely nervous, not knowing exactly what was going on, not being able to hear the audio at the time of the all clear. They were obviously confident that they could do that. Having said all that, if that's not the toughest son of a gun I've ever seen in my life, this guy. I mean, when they stood him up, and like I said this in the stream today, I think somewhere down in history, they're going to look back. Someone's going to have to look back and look at the psychology of that audience. The fact that nobody really moved. There wasn't a stampede to the left, to the right. There wasn't a mass panic like like you would imagine. I don't know if people weren't putting it all together yet, if they thought I don't know what people thought. Someone will look back on it and probably figure it out as they talk to people. But having said all of that, if that guy's not the toughest SOB that I've ever seen, I mean, we know the persona. We've heard the stories of he's president. But, I mean, he's 78 years old. He was just shot. He goes down. The Secret Service, 5 guys jump on top of him. Can't feel great. He gets back up, and the first thing he wants to do is put his shoes on. And then he says, wait, wait, wait. And when he puts his fist up in the air, I've watched it probably 60 times.
Yeah.
And I get chills every single time I watch it. The crowd just erupts.
Yeah.
Never gets old.
Like they don't even know. They don't even remember what there was bullets just flying.
I know.
They don't move. They're solely trained on the stage. And when he stands up and takes that second and says, wait, wait, after the shoes thing, he says, wait, wait, wait. And he puts his fists up in the air and he mouths, fight, fight, fight. Like nothing's going to stop me. Nothing's going to stop me fighting for this country, for your values, for your rights. I mean, I thought the story about sir, why do you give me a picture of my house? I thought that was the most badass story I ever heard.
That was something.
But that takes a back seat to this moment.
Sure
That's the most badass moment I've ever seen.
I know.
What about the moment the next day? He's on the golf course.
Well, you know,
He didn't miss his tee time.
I've seen a lot of things that say that was not that day.
All right.
Yeah.
And was that him yelling, "Get down, get down, get down"? Was that him yelling, "Get down, get down"? Because somebody was yelling,
No, that
"Get
was
down,
the Secret
get down,
Service.
get down." Okay,
Yeah.
it sounded
that
like
was
him.
the Secret Service.
Okay.
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
I think part of the crowd reaction is because they didn't know what was going on. All they saw was Trump drop to the ground, but he didn't look like he got hit. It looked like he did it. So it's almost like everybody's like, okay, why are we getting down? Because you see a lot of people like leaning forward, they're trying to see like what's going on with him. You just see various amounts of reactions. And then when they finally bring him back up, it's almost like this sigh of relief, and they're just like, like you said, they erupt. You know, and from what I understand, he wanted to keep talking. He wanted to get back on the microphone. They're like, yeah, no, we're out. And that's when they took him to the SUV.
I mean, just throw this up, Aaron, for a second.
Waving to people.
Like he told them, he's like, "There's no." He's like, "They need to see me."
Yeah.
Wait, they need to see me. He knew in his heart that they needed to see him.
Yeah, and acknowledge that he was okay.
He was not going to go out looking like that. He was not going to go out. As much as I wanted them to just pick him up and carry him, damn it. That's what in real time, that's what I was thinking. Get his head down and get him the hell off that stage. But he said, no, I am going to show this. And I mean, if that's if that's not what you want.
Did you hear when the delegates got on the floor today?
Your leader.
They were chanting "fight, fight, fight" when they first walked on the floor today at 4:00.
No.
The crowd that was on the floor, they were all coming in, assembling before the speaker got up. They were yelling "fight, fight, fight." The whole crowd was yelling that. It was pretty cool.
I mean, just an indelible moment that will live in this country's history.
Yeah.
I mean, just absolutely unbelievable. Who's that? I can't tell. The head of Goya. Oh. Okay.
Oh,
right.
there you go.
Stock those shelves.
I don't think, we need to hear from him.
That's
Delgado might want to
He
hear.
came out for Trump, I guess, the last couple elections. He's been a big supporter of President Trump.
One of the things we've talked about on this show was Elon Musk. He is officially off the sidelines.
Yeah, he came out pretty emphatically.
He came out pretty emphatically with a full endorsement.
Woof.
And now $45 million to the super PAC.
Nice.
And that was before this happened. He came out on Friday, right?
Well, I don't think he committed to $45 million a month.
Right, but I mean, he came out with his endorsement on Friday because I think we reported it.
I don't think so.
No, he came out with his endorsement after the shooting.
Right after the shooting.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about it on Friday because I felt like we kind of covered it because it was talked about like he doesn't endorse anybody, or he hadn't.
He donated to he didn't get an endorsement. He donated to the super PAC on Friday.
Yeah, which is like a tacit endorsement.
Which is basically an endorsement.
It's a tacit endorsement. Yeah.
Here's money I'm not giving to anybody else.
He declared it right after the shooting.
On Saturday.
Yeah, about 7:30, 7 o'clock right now.
He, let's see if I have it here. This is the beauty of not being on the network. We can just take our time. July 13th, I believe, was Saturday at 6:45 p.m., which was a half an hour after the shooting. He put that out, which is his tweet. There it is. I fully endorse President Trump and hope his rapid recovery.
There you go.
As of today, he's now committed to donating $45 million a month.
Whoa.
To the super PAC.
That's it?
Wow.
Per the Wall Street Journal.
You spend people's money pretty easily. Huh?
Exactly, because it's other people's money.
Elon Musk has said he plans to commit around $45 million a month to a new super political action committee backing former President Donald Trump's presidential run, according to the Wall Street Journal tonight.
Wow.
So as if we didn't have enough news, obviously, between Saturday and everything of the fallout from that, obviously we had a lot of other news as of this morning. I mean, this is quite the cycle we're in. Judge Eileen Cannon dismisses the documents case. And congratulations to all the people who said this was not a slam dunk case against President Trump, as many did. And people like former Attorney General Marchese and Ed Meese and Mark Levin, Landmark Legal Foundation, all said, no, I don't think so. They argued about the appointments clause. The judge was open to that. If you remember when the Supreme Court a couple weeks ago gave us the ruling on presidential immunity, on this show we did not focus on, well, we did a little bit focus on John Roberts' opinion on presidential immunity. We focused on Clarence Thomas's opinion because that was a direct shot at Jack Smith. And I read you, his concurrent opinion, yet it was almost a different opinion because he took direct aim at the appointment of Jack Smith, someone who was not confirmed by the Senate, is not a standing federal employee like some of these others are, who could have been appointed special prosecutor.
Yeah.
He went outside the government to Jack Smith, and people argued, and Jonathan Turley argued this was the most dangerous case for President Trump. People argued it was a slam dunk. Well, it was not a slam dunk. And the judge in Florida showed a lot of guts throughout the whole thing. Obviously, she had been thinking about this for quite a while. She heard the arguments on it and ruled today on the appointments clause and dismissed the case. A huge victory.
Yeah. That's an insane judicial victory.
Huge victory for President Trump, for the Constitution, and for the future of the country.
And for lawfare. Because if they could get away with this, they could appoint anybody to prosecute anyone.
And people think the 11th Circuit's going to save them. I don't think so. Because the 11th Circuit is already, trust me, they've already read Clarence Thomas's opinion. So they may appeal it. I don't think it's written in stone that they do. I know every crazy leftist legal mind is saying that, oh, they did him a favor because now they'll just appeal and they'll get rid of Judge Cannon. I'm not so sure. But what do I know? Nothing. So we'll see. But I would think that certainly that takes that out of the question for a long period of time, if probably forever, if I had to guess. I'd say that's the end of that case. But we'll see if they appeal it. And then obviously JD Vance. Locked in on JD Vance. There was a lot of speculation leading up to it. Everybody was trying to figure out who it was. People were reporting that obviously Secret Service was at JD Vance's house today as he left for the RNC convention. So everything, of course, obviously, we know the relationship with Junior. Junior has come out very strong. And they made it official. President Trump made it official this afternoon on Truth Social. And here's how you can judge the JD Vance pick. Bill Kristol had a complete meltdown. Karl Rove was beside himself on Fox. Every forever war neocon you can think of, John Bolton, Karl Rove, Bill Kristol, I'm sure there's others. Well, just could have filled a bucket of tears.
Oh, and the mainstream media as well. They were just beside themselves.
Yeah. So that lets you know on the JD Vance pick. And everybody who's screaming, oh, JD Vance, he doesn't like Trump. He didn't like Trump. Yeah, no, he didn't. He said some pretty strong things. I'll remind you of Kamala Harris, what she said to Joe Biden on the debate stage. She ripped him so bad he almost melted. Basically called him a racist. And she's his vice president now for 3.5 years. Right. So,
and what'd she say to Stephen Colbert? She was giggling and she was laughing. I think it was Colbert. Well, it was the campaign. That's why. That was the excuse she gave as to why she called him a racist.
Yeah. So the fact that JD Vance, to me, it shows a lot more maturity on the part of Trump than anything else.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. There's a lot of people have said a lot of things about me. They didn't know me. Guy didn't know me. Didn't know what I was going to do as president. This was all before he was elected. It was all the lead up. Saw what I did. Became a fan. Here is a 38-year-old Yale graduate, self-enlisted Marine, went to Iraq to defend this country. Smart guy from a state that's important. Can relate to the Rust Belt voters. You could put him in Pennsylvania, put him in Ohio, put him in Michigan, put him in a lot of places. He's going to relate to a lot of people. He has a story, his life story. He has a best-selling book that people couldn't believe when they read it.
His mom was a drug addict, right? Recovering drug addict. The kid lived in poverty. I mean,
father left.
Come on.
I mean, this kid's the American story, man.
Yeah, he's lived it. Good pick.
And he's with Trump on foreign policy.
Yep.
Seemingly.
And he can relate to the younger people, and that's what's very important today.
And he's 38 years old, 39 years old, whatever it is.
39.
Yeah. 39 years old.
Yeah.
So it seems, I mean, again, could there have been better? Maybe. There certainly could have been a lot worse. We know that. And that's what we were worried about. And yes, Mike DeWine's going to put a rhino. We know that. There's just no two ways around it. I know Vivek says he wants it. That's not happening. If it's up to DeWine, which it is.
They're not ready.
Can't imagine he's going to do that.
Not ready for him.
He's going to find some rhino, and we're going to lose a good Senate seat. Yes, that's going to be the downside, and there's going to be just not much we can do about it. But I think all in all, and I think we'll see them tonight, maybe in this 2 hours. I would not be surprised if we see the two of them tonight. They officially, did the vice presidential stuff today made it official that he's going to be the vice president nominee at the convention this afternoon. Let's go to the stage here. I don't know who this is. Is that Kristi Noem or who is that? I can't tell.
Yep, that's Kristi Noem.
All right, let's listen to her. Thank God she's not the choice.
Good evening.
Dodge that one.
You all look fantastic. I love the cowboy hats. And a shout out to South Dakota. Hi. Woo. Listen, I'm Governor Kristi Noem from the great state of South Dakota. Leadership has consequences. It matters who's in the White House. Now, I've been governor under both President Trump and Joe Biden. And people ask me all the time, what's the biggest difference? And I tell them that President Trump honored the Constitution. He let me do my job. And he let me keep my people free. Now, leadership on the state level, it matters too. It certainly mattered in South Dakota. I am so proud to say that South Dakota's strong economy has been a beacon of freedom for America. Most of you probably first heard about me during COVID, didn't you? Because South Dakota was the only state in the country that stayed open for business. We didn't mandate anything. We never ordered a single business or a church to close. I never even defined what an essential business was, because I don't believe that the government has the authority to tell you that your business isn't essential. When other states were pushing mandates and lockdowns, instead in South Dakota, we hit the gas. We embraced liberty. We told our story and we invited people to come and to enjoy our beautiful state. Now, all of the things that conservatives have always talked about, we just did it, and it worked. Our economy took off, and since I've been governor, we broke the national record for the lowest unemployment rate in American history at 1.8%. In South Dakota, everybody works. We paid off state debts and bonds. We fixed dams and bridges. We built roads. We have a fully funded pension plan and a AAA credit rating. We broke records for surpluses, and we balance our budget every single year. And last year in South Dakota, we passed the largest tax cut in South Dakota history. Under my administration, incomes in our state have gone up 36%. Women-owned businesses are thriving. We also have the highest birth rate in the nation. People are having babies because they're happy. And in South Dakota, we love babies. Our mental health challenges have gone down, our suicide rates are declining, and we are the #1 state in the country for a decline in overdoses because people have hope. We're growing so fast that we needed more workers to catch up. So we launched the most successful workforce recruitment campaign in the history of South Dakota. And they have come by the thousands to join us and to live with us. Do you guys remember those ads when I was a really lousy plumber and a really terrible electrician? Do you remember those? Well, since we started those ads, we have seen a 78% increase in licensed plumbers in the state of South Dakota. We've seen a 44% increase in electricians in our state. Now, people aren't moving to South Dakota for our beaches or for our beautiful January weather. They are moving to our state for opportunity and for freedom. And all of this happened because our people were bold. We took action, and I was strong. Now, South Dakota proved that freedom will make America wealthy again. And with President Trump in the White House, with Senator JD Vance by his side, we will prove it across America. Listen, 2 days ago, the whole world changed. Evil displayed itself in the very worst way, through a cowardly act. An innocent American lost his life, and we will continue to lift his family up in our prayers every single day. Prior to this week, we already knew that President Donald Trump was a fighter. He is the toughest man that I have ever met. Nobody has endured more than what he has gone through. They've attacked his reputation, they impeached him, they tried to bankrupt him, and they unjustly prosecuted him. But even in the most perilous moment this week, his instinct was to stand and to fight. Donald J. Trump is our man in the arena. He will never stop fighting for us. He will never stop, and now he is bringing all of us together. Now, I know that many of you are angry, but now is the time to unite. And we have to get to work. We have to win the hearts and minds of every single American. Wake them up with truth and with wisdom. We need to listen to them. You can't win people over by arguing with them. Visit with your neighbors, at your job, at your church, at the gas station, or even at the grocery store. Listen, there are moments in our history, often after great hardship and tragedy, when true leaders unite our country. At one time, President Lincoln, he united our country. He delivered my favorite presidential address of all time. In fact, it's the only speech or poem or song that I ever made my kids memorize when they were young, when they were little. It was the Gettysburg Address, and it was delivered during our nation's bloodiest conflict. That speech so inspired people that they continued to fight for years, and they lost loved ones in order to preserve this union we call the United States of America. Now, at that time, President Lincoln encouraged us to take increased devotion, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that a government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from this earth. Like Lincoln, in the midst of our pain and division, Donald Trump is calling us to be touched by the better angels of our nature. As Paul wrote in 2 Timothy, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. We must not be afraid. Even in our darkest days, we have never once given up hope. So don't quit on America. If we lose this country, where else will we go that provides more freedom and opportunity for our kids and our grandkids? And I've got 3 grandkids, and I'm counting on a whole lot more. And yes, democracy can be messy, but there is a great invisible strength to a people's union. We have shown the world that we can endure sacrifice and that we can still unite. We should still aspire to be worthy of this union, America. President Donald J. Trump is the leader we need for such a time as this. So now, I need you to get to work. Get out there, go do it. Don't quit. Keep fighting, keep uniting, keep talking to people, win the hearts and minds, and may God bless you, and may God continue to bless the great United States of America.
All right, there you go. Governor of South Dakota.
Didn't add much.
People saying, Damon, please break in.
Somebody said they'd rather watch Rick Delgado. Scarlett Lisa in YouTube chat said, I'd rather listen to Delgado report on aliens. I said, sadly, I agree.
What? There's some good alien stuff out there.
Better than that.
Yeah, she wasn't exactly,
E.T. phone gnome.
Rousing
E.T.
the
phone
crowd,
gnome.
as they say.
Thought I'd try to bring you some of these speeches.
Especially the way she ties it up. Now get out there and go to work.
Go out there and kill some dogs.
Phone gnome.
Let's go do something.
Oh, God.
Oh, okay.
People yelling, hide your dogs.
Yeah. Talk about barking up the wrong tree.
Oh, God. Well, we're monitoring this tonight because, I mean,
God.
I just cannot imagine if Trump takes the stage tonight. It's going to be a half an hour standing ovation before he even gets to talk. If he does talk. I don't even know if he will. I would think he would, but we'll see if the ticket appears tonight for the first time. It would not surprise me if they do.
Yeah.
He's done it before. It would not surprise me since
Is that
he announced
him now? What is?
No,
what are we watching?
that's some old tape.
Okay.
Commercial, yeah.
Gotcha.
I love that guy. yeah. What's your message to Joe Biden? Fuck you. That's my message to him. I love that guy.
We need more of that.
Let's see. What was I going to talk about next? Oh, so there's more JD. There's more JD Vance. Can we get over to my screen, Aaron, without you jumping through too many hoops, if possible? There's more JD Vance reaction.
Oh,
tonight.
Jen, peace out.
I mean, Donald Trump just selected somebody for his vice presidential running mate who tweeted this.
Okay.
Today is not just some isolated incident, and this is after, of course, the tragedy that happened on Saturday. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs. The rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And thank you for rereading it.
Mm-hmm. What's your problem with
What's the point?
Yes, I think we do always need to give people a...
Now look at this panel. Look at the panel. Could you get minus Ari over there on the end? I don't really watch him much, so I'll take him out. Could you find 4 more divisive people who have said more divisive things than Circleback Psaki, Joy Reid, and the other 2, Wallace and whatever her name is? You can't find 4 more divisive people with their rhetoric than those 4 have been in the last 10 years, specifically in the last 4. You can't find 4 more. MSNBC this morning took Morning Joe off the air because they didn't think they could cover the Trump assassination attempt without saying something that would put the network in jeopardy. Now, if that's not an admission, if you can't trust them on a morning like this, you can't trust them ever. It is ground zero for Trump derangement syndrome, MSNBC. And there's 4 of the biggest culprits that they have. And here they are on a panel talking about this divisive rhetoric. Laughable.
Yeah, and how it has to be toned down. Coming from them.
Coming from these 4.
Yeah.
Courage to do the right thing, and maybe this is a moment for that, but that is the person who has just joined the ticket with Donald Trump, and I think it's important not to forget that either.
And I think, the choice of JD Vance had not been announced when JD Vance tweeted that out. And so there was still a possibility, if we were going to have like a change of course here as a country, once he said Democrats did this, Democrats, the word there,
Joe Biden did
led
this.
Directly to is the phrase that he used there, right? Once he said that and blamed it in a partisan way like that, there was an option in the Republican Party and in the Trump campaign to then not pick JD Vance.
But let's heed Joy's warning. Let's not memory hole who Trump is. It's probably why he picked him.
Yeah. It probably helped him.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Ari?
I would just add that why did this happen is a question that can be answered slowly through an investigation, or for a lot of people it doesn't matter, and we've referred to people who had it taken an hour or 2 that was political, which means they're actually outing themselves. We don't have motive yet. Law enforcement's been on it for several days. We know they got the phone and they don't feel in a position to tell us publicly.
Yeah, it's a wild guess, but I think the motive is to blow his head off. That was the motive.
Yeah, well, we'll target
Publicly that the phone has revealed motive. We have clues that are isolated, so he's a red.
Well, what is Ari? What do they think the phone is? What do they think they're going to get?
I don't know.
Like a note that says my lunch didn't taste good. Like my friends really treat me bad. So this is the end result. What do they talk about when they say motive?
They're looking for something more.
My life has been.
Yeah.
Morning Joe was taken off this morning, so I can't. Well, what are they talking about when they talk about motive? Guy took 8 shots, killed some innocent bystander, injured 2 others, and almost killed the former and future president of the United States. Well, we don't really know exactly what was. There's no political answer here, and those people who come to a political answer out themselves. Out themselves as what? And what did JD Vance say that's not true? When you dehumanize a human for 10 years tell everybody that he's Hitler. Right. Should Hitler have been killed? I'll bet people, if they could have taken him out, they would have.
Of course.
So what are you saying? Byron Donalds is on stage. Let's listen to him, and we'll get back to this.
Oh, he had a shot.
He's way more popular than Mitch McConnell, I'll tell you that.
You know, Milwaukee, we're on live television. You got to let me get to the speech now.
Come on.
Thank you.
Good speaker.
I'm Byron Donalds, and I come from the great state of Florida. And I proudly represent the people of Southwest Florida. But I was raised by a single mother in Brooklyn, New York. Life was hard and we struggled. When I was in the first grade, my mother took me out of public school because she could see that public education was failing me. I needed to be challenged, and I needed the opportunity that only a private school could provide. My mother is an educator, and she truly believed in my potential. But Democrat politicians wanted to trap me in a failing school, but my mom fought for me. Mom, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you, Mom. Words cannot describe how deeply grateful I am to be your son. When I was in the 7th grade, my mom lost her job. We went on government assistance, and my grandma helped us pay for private school. My mom and my grandma sacrificed to ensure that I could build a successful future through a commitment to academic achievement and hard work. I'm standing here today as a result of their love, good and safe schools, and great teachers. And to the teachers of America who pour your heart and your soul into your students and teach the next generation to love, honor, and serve our great country, we all say thank you. But what about those kids whose parents can't scrape money together for private school? Don't those kids who grew up like I grew up deserve the same chance that I had? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris sent their kids to high-priced private schools. But since they are in the pocket of the far-left teachers' unions, they trap poor kids like me in failing schools with no way out. They say they're pro-choice, but not if you want a choice over what your kids are taught. Donald Trump believes every parent deserves a choice, and every child deserves a chance. And in November, when Donald Trump is elected, our nation's 47th president, we will make sure all America's children get that chance. Growing up poor, I know the pain of high food prices, high energy prices, and housing costs. I remember as a kid, my mom yelling at me, "Turn off that light, you don't pay the bill." We know there's a bunch of kids in America today who are hearing that from their parents.
That you do.
The massive inflation created by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has only made it worse. During my first term in Congress, I served on the Budget Committee and the Small Business Committee. We told Joe Biden that his so-called American Rescue Plan was going to cause inflation. The Biden-Harris administration told us not to worry, but I knew better. I have nearly 2 decades of experience as a financial professional, and the evidence is in. Go to any grocery store, buy eggs, buy beef, buy milk. Even housing prices have skyrocketed. All Americans deserve a shot at the American dream. But under Joe Biden's debilitating economic policies, far many Americans, far too many of them, that dream has slipped away. This shows that we were right, that Joe Biden was wrong, and that you, the American people, are paying the price. As Americans, we've all been struggling. The disastrous results of the Biden-Harris agenda transcend race, religion, or income. But under President Trump, all of this will change. And if there was ever a time in our nation to come together, that time is now. With Trump, our economy will boom again. You will have more money in your pocket again. And your children will have a future again. Together, I know we will make America wealthy again. And together, America, we will make America great again. God bless you, Milwaukee. God bless the United States of America.
Byron Donalds.
He's pretty strong.
Pretty strong?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
strong.
always.
He's always
Short and
solid.
sweet, to the
Good
point.
speaker. Good
Fiery.
speaker. Yeah.
He is a good speaker. A lot of people wanted him for possible VP.
He was one of my top
He would have been a
picks.
good pick. He would have been a good pick, I have to admit.
Got a huge future in the party.
Yeah.
He'll do many great things. So, what else is going on today, Delgado? Anything else in the news?
I don't know. I mean, the
Not that we need anything else.
No, you
tossing out of the that case in Florida was huge.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's there's so much going on. I just don't even.
Here or in
know.
Milwaukee?
Everywhere.
Okay.
I mean, it's just the last 72 hours has just been kind of a whirlwind, right?
Yeah.
In terms of things that are breaking, in terms of news, in terms of things we're not hearing about. Let me see if I could check out some headlines. We get the
Want to hear some more JD Vance?
the Elon Musk headline of $45 million a month.
I mean, can we just talk about that for a second? $45 million a month, not one time.
Yeah,
$45 million a month.
Delgado thinks that's light.
a little late for him.
That's not
Some
like
serious coin, pal.
He could go 50.
I don't care who
Stop.
you are.
He could go 50.
Well, it's
Also,
he
RFK
could go 50.
RFK Jr. now getting Secret Service protection after even Donald Trump had lobbied for it as well, and I guess they met, and now there's talk of an RFK role in the administration, maybe, which is something I think
CIA director. Well, I see. The cabinet's going to me. I mean, listen. The vice presidential pick, I think this year is more important than most years. But in the end, the policy is going to come from Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And although I like JD Vance as a pick, I think he gives Trump a lot of protection in a lot of ways. I think he's going to help him in the actual election. I think he'll help him with voters. I think his policy is pretty much in line. I love the speech he gave the last week at the conservative when he talked about the country and we're a shared set of values and the people and the ideals. And
I'm sorry, but normally you don't look forward to the VP debate. I'm looking forward to the VP debate.
I already started thinking about
That's toast.
what Slick's going to wear.
Oh, yeah, I got to.
And what we're going to do that night.
You got to have a big hat. That's a
yes.
hat. That's a hat shot.
That's everything.
I was trying to
break out a good
think.
suit.
I was trying to think, Slick, and you maybe pull it top. I was trying to think of the biggest beatdowns in sports history of what I could compare it to.
Tyson and Michael Spinks. 91 seconds.
I don't know what I would come up with.
Right.
That a team won like 100-0.
Oh, man.
But that's going to be the biggest beatdown. And I see people, Jennifer Rubin from the Washington Post saying Kamala Harris is thinking about the VP debate like a kid in a candy store. Like, are you kidding me?
What? Get out of here.
She got so smoked by Tulsi Gabbard In the debate, she didn't even make it to Iowa. I mean, her debate performance goes down in the lore of Democratic debate garbage. Are you kidding me?
Forget it.
This is going to be like Einstein unburdened by everything. I mean, give me a break.
You can't even think of a debacle like that. Wow.
Well, believe it or not, there's a story out of Yahoo News. 6 Democrats who could be VP picks for Kamala Harris. Because
who cares about that?
Another thing that's changed is remember, the news cycle was focused not on Trump, was on getting Joe Biden off the ticket. They needed to get him out. That. All of a sudden, now that's gone.
That's gone.
You know, I think we were talking about, need something to kind of take the focus away from Biden. Well, this did it.
There's zero chance of that now.
But they're still running. They're still running with the let's get VP. Let's get Harris as the top of the ticket.
There's no way.
They've got Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear as a pick for vice president under Kamala Harris.
I told you, if they had dumped Joe when they could have done Beshear and the guy from Maryland, and they would have had a ticket that Democrats would be excited about.
Yeah, but you can't get rid of Harris.
You can't get rid of Joe either.
Roy Cooper is another pick she could have.
Because he's going to be out in North Carolina, hopefully.
Josh Shapiro could be someone else that could be a possible Harris running mate.
Pennsylvania.
They've got J.B. Pritzker.
Oh, that fat ass boy going to get his ass out of Illinois.
Gretchen Whitmer
smoked brisket
as another VP pick.
Should never be VP. She thinks she's ruling over her own country now, like Eva Perón. Right. I told you that's why I called her Eva Perón.
And Gavin Newsom. Meanwhile, the one
Slicky's not going to take a backseat to anybody either. What are you talking about?
And meanwhile, the one they're not talking about is the one that I hear on all the TV shows. They're talking about Hillary Clinton coming in. They're already floating. The articles are out there, Damon. Do a search.
You're an excavator.
Do an internet search.
Stop it.
And dig her up.
And put in Hillary Clinton.
Her face and get ready. Get out of here.
And you will see stories breaking about Hillary Clinton all of a sudden starting to populate the news cycle. Why? Because they need somebody. Can't force Biden out. This is it's like taking keys away from the old parents.
Stop. It's over. Stop. It's over.
We know it's over.
You have your ticket. There's less than 0%. Unless he dies, God forbid.
Yeah, we don't wish
There's no chance it's not Biden-Harris. Forget it. It's over. Stop.
This is from Politico.
We already lost that bet.
Poll finds Biden damaged by the debate with Harris and Clinton best positioned to win. Politico's calling.
Well, how are they positioned? Unless they have a MyPillow in the White House at night and they're going up to Joe's bed, they're not positioned. What are you talking about?
No, they're saying because replacing Biden with a Harris-Clinton ticket would be the best position for them to be in.
Hey, Dr. Jill, we have something to talk to you about. Here's what we're thinking. Yeah, that's going to go well.
Yeah.
Sure it is. Dr. Jill, by the way, is the reason we have the Secret Service director that we have. Big push from her to put Cheadle in that position, my understanding is. Trump turned her down.
Yeah.
And by the way, I believe she was also on the detail when Oatmeal Face was vice president. And he was swimming naked in the pools. I'm serious. I think she was on his detail. So there's a big history between her and the Bidens.
Oh.
And Jill, I think, is the big push for her to get the job after Trump turned her down. So she's not going to be. There's no way she should keep her job.
No.
There is zero way she should survive this. No way. No way. Heads should be should have already been rolling on this disaster.
But Joe doesn't fire
catastrophe.
Anybody. He doesn't fire anybody.
He doesn't fire anybody. He's not going to fire her.
Afghanistan, they fired nobody. Come on.
New York Post reveal how Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris would fare against Trump.
Oh, let's listen to David Sachs. All in podcast here. Let's listen to David Sachs.
Government programs, setting off the worst inflation since Jimmy Carter. But worst of all, the Biden-Harris administration has taken a world that was at peace under President Trump, and they lit it on fire.
Come on, David, pick it up.
President Biden botched the Afghanistan withdrawal,
Looks nervous.
displaying incompetence
David
and
Sachs.
weakness for the whole world to see. Then
Billionaire
he provoked,
investor, tech guy.
provoked the Russians
1/4
to
of the All In
invade
podcast.
Ukraine with talk of NATO
He's got a
expansion.
huge fundraiser for Trump at his house. Trump went on their podcast a couple weeks ago.
Come on.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Afterward, he rejected every opportunity for peace in Ukraine, including
All
a
right,
deal
take
to
Sachs
end the
off.
war
Fine. Sachs is
just 2
gone.
months after it broke out.
Sachs Fifth Avenue.
Let's sack Sachs. He's out of here. I don't want any grief in the trad. If you wanted to hear Sachs, blame Slick, and I got nothing over
They don't
here.
want to hear Sachs. We sacked that.
I wanted to hear him.
He's been sacked.
He's been sacked. That's it.
David, you've been sacked, Sack. That's it. No more
Look at
you.
this. Washington Post. Democrats are wrestling with an age-old problem.
He just won't give it
Enter
up.
Hillary Clinton
Oh, God,
to the
please.
rescue.
Oh, just please. David Sachs needs to hit to Sack.
I saw an alert about 15 minutes ago that Trump is on his way to the convention center.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
He's
going to
en
see
route.
them. We're going to see
Yeah.
them
You're gonna
tonight.
see 'em tonight.
I hope we see them in the next half an hour, or we're going to be out of here.
Right.
But I don't know. We'll see.
New York Post. Biden should replace Kamala with Hillary. Washington Post
Delgado.
suggests.
Rick Delgado, New York
Listen,
Post.
I know. Listen, to
I'm
me.
just
Page
telling
6
you.
over here.
I know you wanted to go to the Sphere for UFC 304 or whatever it is. I know you wanted to go to the Sphere.
See the Sphere? No, there. Go to the Sphere.
I promise you,
That's
I'll
over.
still take you, but you're not going to go based on winning this bet. So just the sooner you own up to that.
I don't know about
He's
that.
taking you to the
Plenty of
Sphere.
time.
He's taking me to the Rav golf outing. I can't
November
wait.
6th, Delgado's still going to be going, I don't know about that.
I'm not sure.
There's still a chance, you know.
So you're saying there's a chance. No, that's an older one.
All right, well, since we sacked Sachs.
Yeah, we sacked him.
Because of you guys.
Well, really, what was he saying? He didn't even seem
I
like
don't know
he was
what he was
comfortable.
saying, but
he's
I
on
mean-
a podcast. He doesn't know how to talk.
Right.
This is a guy who's come over to our side. We should have had at least had the,
Oh, good for him.
like give him a chance. Let's hear a couple more. Let's hear another
yeah, bring
30
him back.
seconds
Come
here,
on.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Maybe he's
Yeah.
gotten better. Let's hear more.
See if he'll
We
be
can
sacked.
replace the Biden-Harris cabal with a president who is strong and smart
Nah, he still
rather
sucks.
than
Get rid of him.
sleepy.
Come on, man. Why should get us up there? Come on, we'll fire up that audience. We'll rip the roof off that place.
Come on, Sachs.
That's why they leave us
Come
here.
on. He's great on this. I love their podcast. I really do. Even though they all have pretty much hated Trump all this time, now they've come around.
Now they're all in.
Now they're all in. Now they are all in. Exactly.
all in for Trump.
They are all in on the All In podcast. They pretty much are.
They should be.
Big D, go 3 hours tonight. No, I don't think anybody. I mean, I'll go live back from home if you want. I don't think anybody else wants to go 3 hours. So, I would like to see Trump and Vance together.
Yeah,
though. I
me
wish
too.
they would do that
I'll wait
while
a
we're
few
here.
minutes to see that.
Maybe we'll go like 5 minutes after 10 and see if he does. I mean, it can't be much later than 10. I wouldn't think.
Nah,
would
then we
they?
got to pay union overtime here. Come on.
Do we want to go back to Sachs? Oh, see, Aaron's
for
the team.
union overtime.
Yeah, for union overtime.
Aaron's in. Aaron's in for a little overtime.
She's like-
$8 an hour.
Well, Slick, what's going on? I mean, since you guys had me sack Sachs, let's do some sacks. It's not football season yet, but
no football
is
season.
there
yet.
anything worthwhile talking about in sports today?
Well, Team USA coach, Olympic basketball, Steve Kerr, he's pushing for gun control after the shooting.
what else
Of
is
course,
that?
that guy's
Hey,
another piece
jerk.
of work. So you have him.
What a jerk.
Carlos Alcaraz defeated Djokovic over the weekend and took the Wimbledon final yesterday, so that came in as well. And Conor McGregor, he had a reaction to Trump assassination. He says, he's running for the love of his country, which of course he knows, but he was obviously very upset. We know Conor McGregor is somewhat, he's a little crazy, but he's like-minded in respect to that. But Dylan Gwynn,
he's like-minded policy-wise, by the way, with Trump too. You saw he talked about immigration in Ireland. He's been all over it.
Yeah, well, he reacted to the Trump as well. This is Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. UFC firefighters are Donald Trump's most vocal supporters, which we know that. In fact, there was a rumor that he was going to get on a plane Saturday night, which, of course, it was just a rumor, and go to the UFC that was going on Saturday night after he was shot. But thankfully, he didn't. Jeez.
No, Dana White shot that down because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was watching.
Dana White was on his way to Italy or someplace.
And he says he only goes when he knows Dana's going to be there.
But in the hours following the scary moment when a would-be assassin bully, clipped the upper right ear of the former president during an outdoor rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday, McGregor took to X to voice his support for the man seeking re-election for the love of his country. A 70-year-old multiple billionaire. He should be on a yacht on the Med touring golf courses, but he is not. He is in Pennsylvania spitting out bullets, running for the love of his country. Godspeed, Donald. God bless the United States, McGregor wrote. And so I thought that was really cool, him coming out and saying that. A lot of folks were obviously upset. A lot of athletes had a lot to say as well, but he was one of the lead people to say anything. How about Antonio Brown? He's a nut, but he said he called Donald Trump legend of the decade, Big D, after the assassination attempt. But he's a loose cannon. But nevertheless, that was it was good that he said
you
that.
think?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Did you see 50 Cent?
Put his face on the record there.
Yeah.
Amazing. And Dana White, of course, he reacted to. Dana White really loved it. He called Trump an American badass, which was pretty cool. He had a reaction to that picture, which he just couldn't get over. So that was pretty cool as well. I'm on a plane right now flying to Italy, Dana White said, and on my phone. And my phone has been blowing up with text messages from people informing me at real Donald Trump was shot, White wrote. I am absolutely sick to my stomach and in complete shock. I still don't know how bad it is or if he's okay, but at Mick Maynard's too just sent me this picture of I'm praying President Trump is 100% healthy. The image perfectly reflects exactly the man I know Donald Trump to be. He is the toughest, most resilient American badass on this planet. I think Donald Jr. said the same thing when he spoke to him. I hope this weak coward that shot him gets what he deserves, and I can't wait to stand up on stage with him on Thursday.
By the way, he did. He got his head split into about 10 pieces. That's what he deserved. That's
for sure. But he says he can't wait to obviously be up there on stage Thursday. So Dana White is obviously fired up as well. So.
Dana White, I believe, is introducing the president.
He is. He just said, I can't wait to be on stage to introduce him. And
that's awesome.
I mean, it's awesome. They said the roof of the Fiserv Arena is going to blow up. They're going to blow right off when Trump goes on stage Thursday night. We might see him on stage tonight.
I think it's going to erupt tonight if he hits the stage tonight.
It will. It will.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who would introduce him tonight, but right now this is Vanessa Farazan, who I think is just an everyday American out there speaking. I don't know who. I must have a schedule here. I'm sure Harry sent me a schedule of speakers or somebody. I don't know.
Harry sent.
I wonder who's left tonight that could possibly introduce Trump.
Speaker of the House? I hope not.
Well, he was there.
I know.
Teleprompter. Teleprompter went out before it, and Johnson had to leave the stage for like 20 minutes, and the band just started playing a rock concert because they couldn't get the teleprompter to work. I didn't think Harry was in the hall, but I guess maybe he is. So
are you saying Harry broke the teleprompter?
Well, I'm just saying.
I don't want to pin that on Harry, but
yeah. All right, is that in sports, Slick?
I think that's a good coverage there. Yeah, I can give you some scores and stuff, but I think tonight is just.
I'd go back to Sachs, but Sachs is not gone.
He's gone now.
Oh, let's listen. Okay, our own Charlie Kirk's up there now.
Wow,
so let's listen to a little Charlie Kirk. Let's hope that these guys don't want to sack Charlie.
He was on the coverage the other night, too.
Let's hear a little bit of what he has to say.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Good evening. I'm Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action.
Oh, Charlie getting big reception.
Together, the largest conservative grassroots organizations in the country. Thanks to our work, I talk to a lot of young people on campuses, at our events, on my radio show, podcast, and social media. Said differently, I visit college campuses so you don't have to. I hear a lot from young people about their hopes, their dreams, and their fears. You see, young people are idealists. They respond to vision. For the past 4 years, they've seen the vision of the Biden-Harris regime. That vision is, you'll own nothing and be happy. The Democrats say, instead of owning a home, you'll rent a 400-square-foot studio apartment. Instead of owning a car, you'll rent a scooter using some app. Their vision is this: limit your dreams, give up, aim lower, be content with less. If you're a 20-something in America, life has been really tough. You've watched home prices rise 47% since 2020. 47%. Home ownership is now out of reach unless you make over $106,000 a year. Since I last spoke at the Republican convention 4 years ago, I've become a husband and father. In fact, we have 2 under 2. I think I get extra points for that. For millions of people my age, that is a dream that feels farther away than ever under the Biden-Harris administration. According to current projections, 1/3 of today's young Americans will never get married. The average American is having fewer children than ever before. Why? It's because for far too many, they simply can't afford them. The basic things our parents enjoyed are increasingly out of reach for Gen Z and millennials. You see, the American dream has become a luxury item for the wealthy elite. Happy countries have children. Broken countries have addiction, depression, and suffering. Democrats have given hundreds of billions of dollars to illegals and foreign nations, while Gen Z has to pinch pennies just so that they can never own a home, never marry, and work until they die, childless. Under Biden, our young people own nothing and they are miserable. Donald Trump refuses to accept this fake, pathetic, mutilated version of the American dream. When he was president, young people were richer than ever before, and he will do it again. Donald Trump is on a rescue mission to revive your birthright, one your grandparents and those before them gave everything to hand down to you. And listen carefully, everybody. This is why young men are the most conservative that they have been in 50 years. To all the Gen Zers watching this convention on TikTok right now, I have a message just for you. You don't have to stay poor. You don't have to accept being worse off than your parents. You don't have to feel aimless and unhappy. You don't have to support leaders who lied to you and took advantage of you for your vote. America's future is a series of choices. Our current state of slow motion national decline is a choice. This November, we're going to choose success. We're going to choose to put the future of Americans first. We are going to choose to no longer be spectators this election. We together are going to do the work to save America. We are going to choose to work harder than ever before, to chase ballots, to vote early, to register new voters, and all of us together working harder than ever, we will fire the Biden-Harris regime and put Donald Trump back in the White House where he belongs. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Charlie Kirk.
Good message to the young people.
Short, quick, and nice message from Charlie.
His audience, yep.
Speaks well.
Yeah, he's a good speaker.
Pretty used to
he was
doing
on Rav for coverage too, Big. They had him on the other night right after Trump was shot. He did a nice job as well with John Solomon. Steve Gruber was on. I was really enjoying the coverage. Their coverage was better than Fox was, was bouncing around. They had the best coverage, Rav.
Yeah, they had a very good coverage.
Hats off.
They're playing, I don't know what, this is obviously pre-recorded of President Trump. Can we hear a little bit of this, Aaron? What's he talking about?
Appropriate tool available to beat the Democrats. They are destroying our country. Whether you vote early, absentee, by mail, or in person, we are going to protect the vote. That's the most important thing we have to do, is protect the vote. Keep your eyes open, because these people want to cheat, and they do cheat. And frankly, it's the only thing they do well. We will make sure your ballot is secure and your voice is heard. Many Republicans like to vote on Election Day, and we must swamp the radical Democrats with massive turnout on Tuesday, November 5th. The way you win is to swamp them. If we swamp them, They can't cheat. It just doesn't work out. But if you can't make it, you need to make a plan, register, and vote any way possible. We got to get your vote. So with your vote, we will win a victory the likes of which no one has ever seen before. We will evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House, and we will take back our country on November 5th, 2024, the most important day in the history of our country. That's what it's going to go down as. Thank you.
All right, there you go. A little pre-recorded message from the president at the RNC Night 1. I believe tonight is Make America Wealthy Again. That's the theme. Someone else is now coming out. Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee. Do we want to hear Marsha? No?
Great evening it is. I am Marsha Blackburn from the great state of Tennessee.
Come on, Marsha. Where's your hat? Big D's hat. You should be wearing Big D's hat.
Last week I did have the honor of chairing the Republican Platform Committee.
Nashville, come on.
We produced a different kind of platform, one that is dedicated to the forgotten men and women of America. People like Brad Bordeaux, a small businessman from White Bluff, Tennessee. Brad leads Bordeaux Medals. By the end of the Obama-Biden administration.
All right, that's good with her.
That's great.
Yeah.
Shut up, Delgado.
Like Hazel from back in the day.
What? It's just, come on.
I know.
Whatever.
What else is out there tonight? Anything else you want to talk about?
One thing I think we need to mention, which hasn't been mentioned, is the firefighter who did pass away.
Oh, yeah.
At the rally.
Good point.
Hero firefighter Corey Comperatore, I believe that's how you pronounce the name.
Comperatore, I think.
Yeah, from Buffalo, right?
Shielded his family in the final moments. Once he heard the shots, was there. I think this was his first Trump rally. Went there with his family, have a good time.
Shielded his daughter and wife from the bullets.
Yeah, man.
And unfortunately lost his life.
His family wasn't ready to make a statement today, and can't blame them.
Yeah.
What a loss.
And I've seen a lot written about this guy. This guy was a hero.
He was a hero.
Absolutely.
Oh, but any volunteer firefighter is a hero in my book, but he did a lot of above and beyond. You're right.
Yeah.
Him and his wife were childhood sweethearts on the verge of celebrating their 29th anniversary.
I'm sure the president contacted her.
And it's just a sad day for them and their family.
Don't be surprised to see the wife at the convention.
Partaking in the process, supporting the candidate you want to support. You go there with your family.
Yep. Right? Innocent, nice, beautiful Saturday afternoon. And the whole world turned upside down.
Turns into a nightmare.
The whole world turned upside down.
Family will never be the same.
No.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
And 2 other people were injured too, right?
Yeah.
Do we have any update on those people?
Nope.
I heard they were stable. That's what I heard earlier.
Right. Then you have the Biden interview with Lester Holt, where he gets a bit combative, talking about the assassination.
What did Lester Holt ask him? His name?
That part, too.
Yeah, he got a little snippy today, right? I heard that. Yeah, I didn't hear the.
Well, because he called him out on his rhetoric the day before,
right?
Saying Trump needs to be put in the crosshairs over his dead body.
Well, yeah.
It just doing all the things that the left does.
Right, the bullseye. Where's the bullseye on Trump?
On a repeated basis. Then they're surprised when their voters, their followers, go ahead and commit violence. It's baffling. But this is what they do. They try and turn it around, and immediately you see, well, this is, we got violence on the left and the right. No, we're talking about this. Keep it where it is. Keep it in the lane. That's what we're talking about. And it's always the left. You got the Antifas, the BLMs. You got this fake Patriot Front group that we all know what they're up to. They're the foot soldiers for the left. Don't get it twisted.
Do I have audio on my just leave my audio on my computer open? Let me just hear this. Nope, I can't hear it. Just leave it open so I can play some things.
Is it acceptable that you have still not heard, at least publicly, from the Secret Service director?
Oh, I've heard from him.
But have you heard from her publicly?
publicly. I've sat down in a situation room downstairs. The Secret Service, the FBI, the national security agencies, the Homeland Security, all the major elements.
Is it acceptable?
He has no idea who the director of the Secret Service is.
No,
I've heard
no
from them.
idea.
He said them.
I've heard from them.
Yeah,
that outfit over there, you know that outfit.
No, it's a woman, Joe. Your wife was a big supporter of her?
Yeah.
Here's the part where you say you got nasty.
In your last TV interview, you were asked if you had watched the debate. Your answer was, I don't think so, no. Have you since seen it?
I've seen pieces of it. I've not watched the whole debate.
And the reason I ask, because I guess the question is, are you all on the same page? Are you seeing what they saw, which was moments of, frankly, that appeared to be, you appeared to be confused?
Lester, look. Why don't you guys ever talk about the 28 lies he told?
18
Where are you on this? Why didn't the press ever talk about that? 28 times it's confirmed he lied in that debate. I had a bad night. I wasn't feeling well at all. And I had been, without it making it, I screwed up. But
I just asked the question because the idea that you may or may not have seen what some of these other folks have seen, you're not on the same.
I'd have to see. I was there.
Come on, man.
I'd have to see it. I was there. And by the way, seriously, you won't answer the question, but why didn't the press talk about all the lies he told?
Well,
I haven't heard anything about that.
We have reported many of the issues that came up during that debate.
No, you haven't.
No, you haven't. Oh, Joe's getting a little testy
he's
there.
Getting chippy.
A little chippy. Chippy, we call that. Yeah. That's what he's getting with Lester.
And then the final thing I'll bring up, I have to, but it's only because it's an actual reporter talking to and I've seen a couple of these, talking to a witness from Saturday, talking about more than one shooter.
Well,
and I don't know if you've seen this.
I've seen some talk about it, but again, and this is my point before, and you seem to defend the guys on the stage's actions. That was my whole point. They stood him back up. How did they know?
No, I understand that, but this is coming out after the fact. I'm saying at the time they got the all clear, so that was their chance to move him. But now you see this from this report, this interview of this woman talking about, another shooter.
Where?
It says a third water tower shooter witness. So I guess there was a water tower nearby as well.
There was.
Yeah.
And again, every expert who I've seen, former sniper, former military, Marine, or Secret Service, or people who do these things, all pointed out the roof of that building and the water tower. I haven't heard anyone say there was somebody on the water tower.
No,
but no confirmation of that at all. No one's even talked about it.
A woman interviewed in Butler mentioned a second shooter in the water tower. We now have a grassy knoll situation.
But we have audio. There's no other shots that we hear. What do you mean?
What do you mean? What I mean? They're basing on who they saw up there. That's what I'm saying. They're saying they saw someone up there, and it was there's more than one person who's claiming that they saw another shooter.
Oh, yeah?
That's all I'm saying.
Well, have you seen anybody report this?
I don't know. I haven't seen anybody
yes,
say
I see this on Fox News. They're talking to breaking first interviews about the shooter over on the water tower after being scrubbed. I know this more than exists, blah, 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 multiple shooters. But you see the woman, I forget her name, from Fox News, talking to a woman in a black shirt on Fox regarding
there's a clip
on a water tower. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, send me the clip. I'll play it so we can see it. I've seen no talk or anybody on RAV or any other network talk about
getting interesting.
Talk about a secondary shooter.
I haven't heard it either.
Yeah, I'm gonna repost this. Right?
Okay, post it, and I'll go play it off your page.
Or do you want me to email it to you?
No, just post it.
Okay.
Because if it's some nut job take, I don't want it on my page. Leave it on yours.
Yeah.
It's not a nut job take. All right, so let's see. Did I repost it?
Messenger.
Yes, I just reposted it.
Okay, I'm going.
You'll see it's a bad video.
Oh, here we go.
But it's a Fox. It's somebody recording on their phone their TV.
Oh,
okay, I see it. Here, I got it.
Because if they would have had like a machine, and he kept standing, I was like, "You got to get down, boy! You got to get down. They're going to shoot you." Because if they would have had like a machine gun, they could have taken us all out. So then we laid there for a while. We saw different places where the gunshots were at, and then they got President Trump down. Secret Service did, and they took him out of there and got him off of the stage. And he was bleeding. And so then my son and daughter-in-law was back behind us, back behind the fence. And we was worried about them. We couldn't call them. And so we started trying to go after them then when they finally let us up. And they had been right by
let's go to the RNC.
Where the other
go to the RNC. Go to the RNC.
They're coming out?
Yeah.
Go full. Go full. Look at this.
He's coming out.
Right.
He's on the screen.
You think he'll use the Frank Stallone song?
Caught Up in You?
No, that's 38 special.
That's what it sounds like.
Frank Stallone had made a comment that he wanted President Trump to use his song "Far From Over." He's like, I can't hear it.
Yeah, opening night. He's so nuts.
You think he changes it up? I still think he goes Lee Greenwood.
God bless America. Kate Smith. Wow.
I went with the long version of the song, I see.
Places.
I mean, yeah, really. Did someone give the band, come on. What are we doing here? Is that the band or is that a recording?
No, that's a recording.
Oh, okay.
They can fade it at any time.
Well, he can't be coming out to that.
No.
No. But I don't know why they're playing this so long. Is Harry doing the music there?
Yeah. Harry's like, no.
I think Harry's
this
doing
is
the
the
music.
good part.
Okay, Harry. Harry, you got to cut it.
You talk about building the suspense. He's on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have just kept it as a silhouette or something.
Is he going to speak?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes, he is.
please welcome Lee Greenwood.
Oh,
there you go.
There you go. Good call. He's there.
Lee's there.
Wow. Is he there?
Well, yeah, they announced him.
There he is.
They shouldn't have had Trump on the screen yet.
Is there any doubt who's going to be the next president of the United States?
No, sir.
They shouldn't have had him on the
Prayer
screen.
works. This nation based on faith. Prayer works. Because he was sure, as Donald Trump turned his head just slightly, that the bullet missed him just enough to save his life to be the next president of the United States.
Sing this song. Sing this song.
Come on, Lee.
Come on, Lee.
If tomorrow.
We have believed for so long
Lee, come on.
that God will make some changes in this country.
Song way back in the
And he's
day.
about to make a change in the current administration and send them home.
If tomorrow.
Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight.
Still talking.
Tonight, we make the decision on what's right for America. More prosperity, less gas prices, less food prices, help for our veterans, and God bless our military wherever they are
Less
in the
talking and
United
more music.
States.
Come on, Lee.
Less talking, more singing.
From the
There will be no wars. There
Ladies
wasn't
and
any when
gentlemen,
President Trump
please
was president.
welcome the
Six.
next
Come on, press this
president
button.
of the
Right now.
United
Forget the song.
States,
Just bring him out.
Come on.
Donald
Yeah.
J.
It's killing us.
Trump.
Is he not going to sing the song?
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. To be an American, where at least I know I'm free. there ain't no doubt I love this land. Sing it! God bless the USA.
Look at that. Tucker.
We are here tonight with one purpose, and that is to elect Donald J. Trump as the next president
My
of the
God, that
United
has to be
States.
so emotional for them.
Well, there they are.
He does.
He's here tonight
He
to
looks
show
like the
his
moment
courage.
is.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a big
Against
change
somebody
here.
who tried to kill him. You will not
No, I don't
take
think
this
so.
man down. He has the courage, the strength, and he will be the next president of the United States. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea. Ladies and gentlemen, the 45th President of the United States and soon to be the 47th President of the United States, please welcome Donald J. Trump. I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Mr. President.
Please welcome Mark Laws from Cedar Springs, Michigan.
Wow. All right, you can put us back in the box, Aaron. The president's going to sit through the rest of the night, or is he? I don't know what's going on here. But there's your 2024 ticket.
Mm-hmm. And then this poor guy has to talk. Meanwhile, everybody wants to hear Trump.
Right.
Yeah, this is, I don't know. Let's just take it in. Let's just watch.
Tough act to follow. If it was one.
Mark Laws. Tough spot for Mark.
Tough.
Right?
Unbelievable. Yeah. Speechless.
Say something.
Got nothing to say. Trying to compose himself.
Mark, you're up, bud.
You're on.
You're on, buddy.
Yo.
I think they're treating Mark now. Mark.
Good evening. I'm Mark Laws, and I live in Western Michigan.
We get the point.
Yeah.
I'm not a senator or a governor or some other politician. But I'm just a regular guy.
Yeah.
But to my kids and my grandkids who call me Peepaw, I'm the guy. I live on a fixed income, so I'm not one of the people that watch their portfolios. No, in the big boy Joe economy, I just worry about getting through the day. But I'm fortunate because I don't have a mortgage. If I did, I'm really not sure how I'd make it. The big boy Joe inflation has turned our dollars into nickels. And in Michigan, we got 180,000 plus people that are in tax lien foreclosure right now. So even though I don't have a mortgage, I still got to pay the government to rent my house. And if I don't, they take it away. When I'm asked how I'm doing, I answer honestly, I say, I'm doing okay. But don't you remember under President Trump, we didn't have to settle for just okay. We were doing great. I wanted to make some improvements to my home, but with inflation and the price of materials, that's not possible. So I don't want to go into debt, so I just put it off.
Totally.
I'd also like to spoil my grandkids with some great Peepaw unique gifts for their birthdays. But with the price of gas and groceries, I don't do that. I'd settle for a cake and ice cream.
Something.
Why would he be here?
Prices keep going up, but my income stays the same. I just keep putting things off, hoping that I'll be able to afford them again someday. It's got me thinking. I've been hoping for better days, but life is happening right now, and we can't waste any more time on the big boy Joe terrible economic policies. We need to bring Donald Trump back right now. We need to know and share the 20 promises that Donald Trump has made. We need to get involved with the Trump 47. And you remember, ballots win elections, so that's the best way to do it.
This is strange.
I know a lot of folks just kind of tune the politics out.
Have him come.
But we really can't afford to anymore, because we're not living in the same country that we grew up in. Cutesy time is over.
He's using Bongino quotes.
We need to, all of us, put our shoulder to the wheel and push along and get Mr. Trump, Donald Trump, to be number 47 again.
I think I just lost it.
Thank you, and God bless America.
Bidenomics doesn't just have seniors worried. It has
we gave
them
the batteries
scared
to
to
Zach so
death.
we can get home.
Biden's inflation has retirees at risk of running out of money. The cost of groceries is forcing many seniors to choose.
Oh, is he off?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Just a little.
That was
man.
That was strange to have that guy at that moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I guess when you plan these things out, I don't think they anticipated Donald Trump coming out during that time, and they're like, he wants to come up now. Okay.
Is that maybe what happened?
It's probably everything's probably scheduled.
Oh, okay. So he just showed up and said, "I'm just going to come be
he's just going to come out,
a spectator,
crash the party."
Okay. All right, that's fine. Normal guy, come up there, tell your story.
Yeah.
Well, I would have been nervous too. I probably wouldn't have been able to speak either.
Hey, he lasted longer than Sachs.
Thanks to you guys.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I don't know. Maybe President Trump's not going to speak tonight. So, Rav is covering it because I think we're going to sign off.
Yep.
It seems like the president, now there's somebody else up there that's not him, just another person.
Somebody else. Another random. Who the hell
Another
that?
everyday American,
All
which
right.
is, listen, these are the people that Trump connects with and JD Vance connects with, and their life was much different under President Trump than it is under President Biden, I would suspect. So that's why they're up there. So, All right, we're going to sign off for the night. We will bring you night 2 of the RNC tomorrow night, same time, 8 o'clock, right here on all of our socials. So make sure you follow us on wherever you're watching on. You'll get alerted tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, maybe a little before 8. We'll be on. And then Wednesday night, of course, JD Vance will speak in the main spot. And then, of course, Thursday night, the main event, President Trump will deliver his welcome speech and formally become the RNC's nominee for President of the United States again. So we will see you tomorrow night. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron Friend, great job as always. God bless President Trump and his family. And the Lord continue to keep him safe as he did on Saturday. We will see you all tomorrow night. Thanks, everybody. We'll be here 8 o'clock live from Studio 6B.